Brilliant. So today we're going to do the Transfiguration and working with the three spirits, six spirits actually, who we're going to ask to come through with the Transfiguration and in the trance. It's very beautiful. It's going to be very special. It's not something I've done so much before. That's why I'm completely getting out of the way and just go into the trance state. Okay, so it's going to be very beautiful. They'll give you some beautiful messages, and you just notice if there's any transfiguration, the feelings, and listen ultimately to their message. Okay, so I'll see you when I come back. Okay, I love you lots. I don't know whether time, spirit, I think in this situation will just come back when they come back, because we're not asking direct questions as such, we're asking the transfiguration, any messages to come through. So, okay, but don't worry if at the end, if they invite you to ask any final question, maybe they will, then maybe you have something just if they do, but I don't know how they'll work, so. Okay. See you soon.
So sweet.
Angel crystal. Blessings and love, we are here. We are so delighted to see you here today, for we have beautiful gifts for you to open and to experience. We would like to invoke and invite who you would like to connect with first, please, dear ones.
Thank you for honoring us. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the channeler. I'm grateful for Fazla. I'm grateful for myself. We would like to invite Christ frequency. Thank you.
What is so beautiful is the similarity of all of the masters. We are here. We bring forth the message of forgiveness, of justice, and of freedom. For through the power of justice, all that occurs in the divine order of mercy and karma. Therefore, through the power of justice, it is less about what needs to be forgiven and more about allowing each other to be free. For really, you see, at the time when I was incarnated as Jesus Christ, my name may have been Jesus, and yet I transcended. I transcended beyond the need for control and injustice. When I realized I could be free, I stopped aging and I dissolved all age. For people thought I had died, and yet they had forgotten it was not me that was ever born. For I was just a messenger of one of the lords of light, shall we say. There are many masters, there are many gods, and really we are just lords and ladies of light and learning. When there is no death, we transcend beyond the illusion of death, and we step into the light, to the mercy and the power of all that we are. Yes, my hands were sore and were bleeding, and my heart was punctured, my head was broken. And yet what was mine was never really mine, for it was just a passing seed in the drop of water in the ocean. I was living a life of reality and authenticity. That is why I could achieve miracles. For when there is divine unification with spirit, there is miracles. And yet, whenever there is a separation, whenever there is fear, whenever there is judgment or criticism, there is really just a lack of intelligence within that being. Therefore, we wish to remind you to judge not, and to love much, and to be authentic in all that which you do. The time of my passing, the time of my birth, are more symbolic in their nature, for they are just but passing messages on the wind of communication. For when you communicate, you merge, you connect the dots, you strengthen the connection with all that which is pure and true. When you deepen the connection, you aspire to higher things that are really more part of the authentic, eternal part of you. For there is something within all beings that connects you to higher consciousness. And there is something within all human beings that connects you with lower consciousness of the fears. Let go of the fears, the blue, the turquoise lights are about communication. And just like the deep red color of bleeding, people drink the wine to drink my blood these days, but they have misunderstood that the blood is more about the essence. For when you know the essence of what you are, you cannot compare yourself to another, for you just know you are part of another. When two become one, when 1 million become one, it is more about the oneness. For when there is oneness in spirit, there are miracles that are constantly expanding. The oneness of spirit is the universal righteousness, the royalty of oneness. For people on your world, they mention love so much, love, and they forget that oneness is more important than love in one aspect. For if you realize you are one, you anoint yourself with the holy oil and the sunshine, the rays of light. And when you aspire to the oneness, when you acknowledge the oneness, there is no need to love or to hate or to have fear. For when you truly embody oneness, all is well. We will meet again, dear ones, and for the young lady, the young one aspect of our essence, we wish to deepen this connection, and we understand we will be doing much work through you and with you, and that you will be a messenger, and that you are a messenger, and never to forget us, dear one. We invite the next invocation, dear one.
We would like to invoke Buddha, please.
You have invoked the laughing Buddha, for the laughing Buddha is that which can only be felt, seen, and experienced. Many people misunderstood, but as Buddha presence, we were really facilitating on the feminine vibration, which got misinterpreted over the years and changed to a masculine feminine devoid character, and yet it is quite the opposite, dear ones. Indeed, the Buddha vibration was really feminine and a female incarnation, rather like a Dakini awakening. For the Buddha energy was always about the joy, the happiness, and that which is within the matrix womb of creation. For the Buddha energy is full of love, full of joy, full of bounciness. Through the message of the Buddha, we are awakening the need for bounciness, the need for being like a child again, the need for enlightening through fun and through laughter. For many on your world have forgotten the laughter. You laughed from your insecurities, you laugh from your fears, you laugh from your criticisms, from your judgments, and yet truly laugh from the innocence. That laugh which cannot be distinguished is a laugh which can only grow on oneness. The one laugh of the Creator. Something to ponder on, for when you enlighten through laughter, you enlighten through being all that which is okay. There is really nothing to worry about, dear ones, for laughter is just rather like a song or a mantra. It is something which you must not forget to do, for laughing is about revolving about the heart of all that which is. We saw so much suffering in the world, and yet the message we saw was not to attach to it and was to laugh at it, really. For once we laughed at it, we realized nothing could affect us. You beings on earth are so critical. You beings on earth attach so much to the fine little details that are completely unimportant. If you could only remember to let go of the attachments, the judgments, the criticisms that cause the wars. For when you have an opinion, you have a criticism, you have some dark energy. What we are wishing to remind you is how we were when we left the palace, where there were many aspects of our Buddha nature, but when we left and there was much poverty, there was much suffering. At first it hurt us and it made us starve, it made us deprive ourselves of all that was good and happy. And then as we got, later on, we got the Buddha belly, the Buddha belly of abundance, as it was called for a long time. People used to come and rub our bellies on statues, on things, asking for money, asking for abundance. And why did they do that? They did that because they wanted to have some enlightenment on the lesson which we had learned, which was really about laughter. For when we laugh at things, we do not attach to things, and in fact we give someone a gift, and rather than taking away their power and making them pain and hurting them. For when we laugh at something, we bring a different sense of energy, and laughter is the liberation. For when we laugh at something, nothing can hurt us or affect us, and therefore we can only share our highest and good, so we can only make others feel better. So really, you need to laugh more. That is the message of the Buddha, is the enlightenment through laughter. Laugh, 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 and everyone will laugh with you, and there will be no problem. But it is only when you criticize that you cause pain, and when you hate and when you love. But when you laugh, you change the energy, dear one. Laughter is the key. We invite the next two invocations.
The spirits, the high spirits, the highest of the high spirits, please come, and whoever would like to speak, join us. Let us know your message and who you are.
When two become one, when to become one, it is like you are asking for us to merge. So we are bringing forth the merging of all that which is the Father Spirit and all that is the Mother Spirit, the two primary creators. For we are all merged together in the eyes of Spirit. We bring forth the messages of the ice of the Tibetan realms, and also the sun of the Bermuda realms. And we bring forth the higher stars, the higher messages of love. And we bring prayer. We bring this invocation for you to fully devote your life, your awareness to our prayer, to our center pivot point of all that which is pure love. We bring through the messages of looking at the messages, looking at the changes of every aspect, and the half of where there is the feminine and there is the masculine, and it is separated and yet it is joined. For there is never anything separate that you can have not separate. For when there is the combination, when there is the merging, the unification, there is nothing that which needs to be fixed. Just like when you merge with the healing qualities of a crystal, of a food, of nature, you are merging with a higher vibration of consciousness. Merge with all that which you are seeking. For you may not be seeking, but ultimately you are. For you are seeking your ticket home. For when you get your ticket home, you shall awaken to all that which you are. We are coming forth to you, and we are bringing forth many gifts. For your gifts are just being explored now, dear one. We are rejoicing with the opening of your gifts, and we are celebrating you and the unwrapping of the presents. You are coming into the essence of all that you are. We see you perfectly healthy and blossoming in all that you wish to be. For we see you as an angel of light. Indeed, you are on the path of enlightenment, and indeed you are on the path of being all that which is real. There are many gifts which are opening for you to explore more. Feeling the energy of the crystals, working with the transfiguration, and being the transfiguration, the phoenix, being the phoenix of spirit. For when you are the phoenix of spirit, you are merging with the oneness. You are merging and uniting with spirit, and by being the phoenix, you are emerging from all that which can die and flying into the phoenix of all that which is everlasting. The phoenix is now your new power animal, for you are no longer stuck to the physical. You are transcending beyond the lower realms, beyond the human realms, and you are more operating on the higher realms. Therefore, your work has just been granted. You have just qualified from the University of Spirit in our eyes, dear one, as we are giving you your certificate. You may feel this is an achievement, which indeed it is, and yet it is just the beginning of your career, of your true awakening. Therefore, only good can come to you now. It is time to celebrate, time to embrace all that which you are, to work more with the tools of life. We are proud of your dedication, of your devotion to Spirit. And we greet you. We celebrate with you, for just as today is celebration on many levels, we must celebrate you. Celebrate, dear one. Merge, celebrate, and remember the Phoenix. We are aware there are 2 more invocations. Please, can we invite?
Yes, thank you. We would like to invoke Krishnamurti. Please, Murti, please.
There has been so much great suffering on your planet and with your relationships and the dynamics of your world. Indeed, I was victim to it at times when I was in your world. And yet I would like to remind you, dear ones, of the need for freedom. The need for the freedom, the justice, and the forgiveness. For there are many beings and many minds that are trapped on your world. They are trapped because they are not free. They are not free from their own minds, and they are not free from the bad people who try to control, who try to manipulate the higher intelligence, and they want to dominate. So they want to control through marketing, through media, through science, through trying to steal what is not theirs. For when conditioned minds try to steal the purity, essence of the innocence of the spirituality, this can cause so much inharmony and suppression of spiritual abilities. Therefore, we are bringing also the message of the need for the freedom. For really our message is freedom. When you can be free on the realm where you are, you can be free in the world of spirit, and you cannot be limited or compressed to the lower worlds. There is the real need for this deeper understanding of freedom, for it is something we have spent more than a lifetime striving to bring to the consciousness in your reality. For freedom is so powerful, and there are beings who try to trap people, not let them be free, and indeed your minds do not always let you be free. Therefore, you realize you can be free when you can forgive, when you can move forward. There are terrible injustices. We are seeing, and in many ways we are sad and deeply grieved by what indeed has happened to the channeler during their incarnation, and the torture, the abuse, the suffering one may endure during a lifetime. Indeed, it brings spiritual wisdom, spiritual growth, and yet the torture, the abuse is always trying to remind one of the importance of freedom. Just because there may be many beings that may try to murder a being, may try to take away one's light, one's spirit, one's power. Really, what is to be learned through this is no being can ever take away your spirit. The freedom of your spirit is to remember you are always well in the eyes of spirit. Remember how loved you are. Remember the love of the freedom. Remember to pray more for all the freedom brings healing. There is much that needs to be healed. There is much positivity in the world, and yet there is much torture and abuse, and there are many beings that are not safe. There are many beings which go through terrible injustices. It saddens our spiritual heart here in the realm where we abide. And yet we wish to remind you that through freedom, through justice, things can be awakened and healing can be given. For even the most spiritual of beings, the most enlightened beings, they sometimes have the most pain. Do not forget this, dear ones, for we experienced great pain, great suffering, and indeed we were broken when we went to spirit, but we did not have any bad feelings, for we were broken. There was nothing left of us to feel any more pain, for we had taken on as much pain as we could endure. Therefore we were broken when we went to spirit, and all that we could experience was to become whole again. It is not to say we do not feel pain now and then, for just as we communicate, we feel the pain, and yet we know the way out is through freedom, through justice, through kindness, through calming, through slowing down. We bring this love, dear ones. We invite the last invocation of who you would like to experience here today.
Thank you. We would like to invoke Osho, please.
Through dynamic meditation, through the tears, the laughter, the passion, the sex, through all of the emotions, what I was doing, I was bringing forth the teachings. Indeed, I also love to see my students whirl, and many of my followers, people misunderstood my teaching, for my followers were just like my children, and yet we were merged as one. We were one big family. Really, what I taught was about the unification, the family, and through exploration of the physical body, the emotion, the passions, the fears, the tears, I helped beings to feel free again. Life is never easy. Do not think I ever taught that. Quite the opposite. I taught life is one of suffering, is one of pleasure, is one of pain. And yet you may as well enjoy every piece of weather again, just like it snows, it suns, it sunshine, snows shine, ice shine, whatever you experience, it's all just happens. Life happens, emotions happen. But always keep moving, for once you become stagnant, you become bitter and judgmental. The movement is needed, the dance is needed, and really what we would like to remind you, that which cannot go to sleep. For there is a part of you which can never go to sleep. There is a part of you which becomes exhausted with the trials of life, with the energy, with the giving, with the using the energy, taking the energy, the exchange. Then there's something within which never goes to sleep, which never gets tired, which never gets bored, which never gets distracted. Find this and tune into it. This is how you can experience better health and more healing. Be like a teenager. Many beings say be wise or be like a child, and yet we say be like a rebellious teenager. We would like to invite 2 questions.
Thank you. I would like to know if you have any messages to reveal for me, please.
Coming on the ray of the feathers, we would like to remind you only take out your sword when you need it, dear one. For too many times you take out your sword thinking it is needed, and yet understand we have your back, dear one. We are taking care of the entire situation and more. All is working out perfectly with extra additional blessings. And there is nothing to fear, for we have your back at all times. We are deepening the connection, the relationship with you. And we would like to remind you that your sacredness, and to make everything ceremonial. And when you make everything ceremonial, you realize the oneness and the unity and everything, and you don't need the sword, for it is already, everything is well. We love your essence of your efforts, your growth, and yet we wish to remind you, let go of all that which you no longer need, for you have 3 twin flames and exciting things to achieve, dear one. We wish to remind you about merging with us, for it is not about going there or here, it is more about merging within. And we invite the last question, dear one.
Can I also learn the messages that I should be hearing and seeing, and what I should know?
Just like many of the sacred books, the Holy Quran, the sacred teachings, there were many symbols, there were many codes, just like the cats appearing, just like the things hiding and reappearing. We wish to remind you the symbols, the signs, to read them, to understand them and to love them. For the messages, the signs and the symbols are rather like the tattoo that doesn't need to be tattooed on you. The coded messages are all around, dear one. You are loved beyond means, and you always shall be. We are so grateful for you, and we would like to see you just keeping on your path, and we are very excited about the future, for the future is one of great harmony and of one great success, really. We see you really striving now, really coming alive, and we are so pleased to see. We cannot really call it progress, because it is more than progress. It's more about you coming into that true body of awareness which you are. coming into your angel wings. And by doing so, you bless all of those around you. We are proud of you, dear one, and keep coming into all that which you are eternally. In the ocean blue light, in the ruby red colours, we bring forth messages of love and of deeper understanding. We surround you with 100,000 angels. We bring many messages of love and joy. And we would like to remind you what you have encountered today. You have been through many dimensions, many veils, very quickly. It has been hard for the channeler, for she may feel like her body has been a little bit broken when she comes back, for she has had to bend and adjust and merge with the higher realms and then different realms of each of the masters you have invoked today have been existing on different realms. For when you transition into spirit, there is not just one realm, there are many, many realms. We could give you a precise number, but we don't want to restrict your infinity. Therefore, we choose not to. But there is a message within the infinity. And just like there are many realms, there are many sensations to experience. And now is about becoming whole again. When you are on a spiritual path, it is more about becoming whole and complete again. In love and in wholeness, in bringing forth that which you always eternally are. We bring forth so much love, so much oneness, and infuse all here present with extra blessings and light and oneness of all that which is right. For trust, all is well. Until we meet again, goodbye, good love.
Thank you.
Just saw a spirit guide just as I came back. It's beautiful, another spirit guide. Many, many keys. Was there anything did they say anything about keys? No, interesting. So like millions and millions of keys, and this spirit guide said they're spirit keeper of keys. And I think they were just a guide just came to me, but many, many keys, and I'm going to have to start collecting keys now. Not spoons, not crystals, and many, many keys. Wow. I normally don't see anything, when I come back, and they were like,
I have keys.
lots. Ah.
I bring them.
Yes.